Welcome back to my channel, everyone. If you're visiting for the first time, my name is Sheridan and I'm a first grade teacher in South Carolina, and I'm about to start my 4th year of teaching. Today's video is going to be another book haul. I absolutely love these videos, but this is another book haul. I'm going to be sharing with you 3 more books that I just think are really awesome and would be a really great addition to your classroom library. So if you're interested in learning about these books, keep watching. First book that I'm going to share with you is called The Word Collector by Peter H. Reynolds. If you're familiar with the book Happy Dreamer or The Dot, then you are familiar with Peter Reynolds' work. But this is called The Word Collector, and this book I really liked it just because I like the idea that you can use words to, I guess, tell a story. Like, everyone puts words together in a certain way to get across how they feel or what they really mean by something. Well, the main character in this book, his name is Jerome, and he mentions in the book, or Peter Reynolds, the narrator, in the book mentions that, you know, people can collect different things, but Jerome likes to collect words. He likes to collect words that sound good, that describe things in a really cool way. And then the other people in the story get to kind of see his words and see what words meant a lot to him, and they get to use them to tell their own stories. And I just think that that's a really good lesson to teach kids, or just not even just kids, just ourselves, anyone, to just show that, you know, our words have power and we can tell many different stories using a lot of different words. But the really cool thing is at the very end of the book, it's not part of the story, it's kind of just a message from the author Peter Reynolds. It says, "Reach for your own words to tell the world who you are and how you will make it better." And then, you can't really see it, but it says, it doesn't say the end, even though this is the end of the story, it says the beginning. And I just think that's interesting, like, you know, words, like, this isn't the end, like, your word can be the beginning of something new. And I think that's that kind of changed my perspective, and not that, I don't even really know if I had a perspective on words. Maybe I thought words were just things that you could put together, things that you say to convey a meaning, but the way that you put your words together, the way that you say things, is very important. And I think that is what Peter Reynolds wanted to get across in his story, The Word Collector. It's really cool, I recommend it. Everyone, the next story that I'm going to share with you is one of my favorites, and I'm going to tell you why in just a moment. But it is called No Mirrors in My Nana's House by Issei Barnwell, and Cynthia St. James is the illustrator. And the book is about a girl and her nana, her grandmother, and the nana does not have any mirrors in her house. And so it deals a lot about with, you know, things that are considered to be beautiful, but most importantly, the little girl's beauty, because this is a little girl and her grandmother, her nana. And a big takeaway in this story is that the girl is pretty much discovering the beauty of herself in the eyes of her nana, her grandmother. A lot of times, there's a couple times in the book where it says, "Child, look deep into my eyes." And, you know, she's having this experience of kind of discovering her own personal beauty, her inner beauty, through the eyes of her grandmother, somebody that she loves. She's not having to worry about the outside world and people who aren't in her life, I guess, judging her in a way. She is discovering herself through the love and through the eyes of her grandmother, and I just think that's a really beautiful story. If you're familiar with StorylineOnline.net, there is a read aloud, or a version of this book. Well, this book read aloud by Tia and Tamara from Sister Sister. It is so awesome. They do a really good job telling the story, but at the end of the video, there is a song that that uses the words in this book, and it is amazing. If you have not listened to that recording of the story, and it's got the song at the end, please do it. Whenever I play this story for my kids, they always ask to listen to it again and again and again. It is it's a beautiful song. I absolutely love it. So if you are not familiar with No Mirrors in My Nana's House, please add this to your classroom library at some point. It is really, really good. Last book I'm going to share with you is called Yesterday I Had the Blues. And it is by Jerron Ashford Frame and illustrated by R. Gregory Christie. And this book pretty much deals with emotions and how they are felt by other people. The boy in the story starts out by feeling blue, so feeling sad, just kind of icky, not really feeling good. Things are not making him feel very good. And then members of his family are feeling different emotions too. So I like that this book kind of gives us emotions in a different way. For example, like associating with an emotion with a color. Like maybe if you're feeling blue, like in the story you're feeling sad, but if you're feeling maybe a brighter color like yellow, you might be, that's I guess associated with happiness or a content feeling. Or gray might be feeling kind of tired or something like that. But I like that for kids, when you think about emotions and you associate them with a color, I think it kind of helps them to understand it a little bit better, especially those kids who maybe don't really know how to put their emotions into words. I know there was a point last year I had a little youngin who had a hard time putting into words how they felt. You could tell they were not happy, but they didn't really know the word for what they were feeling. And I wish I had this book to kind of help them to kind of feel out and cipher out how they were feeling in that moment. And I think this book does a really good job of putting a color or associating a color with an emotion. It's a really good way to also show that emotions can change. Like for example, you might be feeling maybe sad one day, blue one day, maybe the next day you're feeling yellow, feeling happy. You don't have to stay in one emotion. The last thing that I think this book does a good job of showing is that, you know, emotions are meant to be felt. I think there is a stigma that, you know, being too emotional is a negative thing. It's not a good thing. No, emotions are meant to be felt. They're not meant to control your life. But if you're feeling some type of way about something, you need to be able to feel it so that you can heal from it. Or if you're happy, like that is awesome. Like enjoy your happiness. I don't think that it's a bad thing to experience many different emotions. We all are going through quite a bit right now in our lives with this pandemic, and it's probably caused us to experience lots of emotions, and that's okay. But this book does a really good job of kind of creating a safe space for not just kids, if anyone could read this book, but creating a safe space for us to really feel our emotions without feeling bad about feeling our emotions. So this is Yesterday I Had the Blues. The last thing that I wanted to share with you before we go is that each of those books in some way is available on YouTube or some other recording platform as a read aloud. I know No Mirrors in My Nana's House is on Storyline Online, like I said before, but I'm pretty sure you could find any of those books as a read aloud. And I'm saying that because I know many of us are teachers. I know a lot of my subscribers are teachers, and you're probably not going to be able to physically read any of the books to your class unless you record yourself, and you can do that, but then again you just have to make sure you are aware of, you know, copyright and publishing type things, and making sure that you're in keeping with those guidelines, and there are guidelines on that, so just make sure you check those out before you do that. but there are recordings already ready to go for you on YouTube of those books and any other book you choose to include into your virtual teaching plans. And what you can do is take those books and add them to, maybe, I know some of you guys are doing Bitmoji classrooms or your classroom website, so just figure out what works for you. But you can find recordings of those books and put them on your classroom website or whatever it is that you are using to teach, as long as we are doing virtual or whatever model you're going to be doing for the time being until it is safe to return to our classrooms. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed those books and that maybe you'll try them out. I would love to hear in the comments down below which of those books you're really interested in, and if it's all three, that is fantastic. I liked every single one of those books as well. And if there aren't any books, or if there are any books in that you are wanting to recommend to me, leave those in the comments as well. I love getting recommendations. You guys really enjoyed the book haul I did last month and were telling me about some of the books you were wanting to try to read or try to get a hold of for your classes, so I'm hoping that you will do the same in this video. But I really hope you enjoyed this video and that it was a gift to you and that you got some little nuggets of wisdom. That's one of my favorite words, nuggets of wisdom, or phrase, or whatever. I should add that to my word collector words. But anyway, I really hope this book was a gift to you. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below, like I said, about which book you're wanting to try out. I really hope you guys have an awesome week, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!